It's part 7 of our conversation with Steve Lukather. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. You know, a lot of people are showing a lot of love to the 7th one. I mean, all the other, they all deserve.
Very proud of that record.
Because that was a gem to me. That was one of my favorite albums of all time.
I thought that was going to be our Toto 4 again. I really did. I really thought it was that good of a record. I thought that George Massenburg made it sound incredible. And Billy Payne was an interesting spice. And we wrote good stuff. We were really in a good form to write and record. And that's what we did. It's one of my favorite Toto records, especially because Joe's on it, and Joe really shines on it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has aged well. There's only a couple things where you go, that really sounds like the 80s,
Run to Me, retro vibe again. Love that song. One of my favorites.
Well, that was written specifically for Ringo's birthday in July, and was never really intended to be on the record. But since he wanted to play on it and he liked it, he said, "God, how can I not put that on the record?" I mean, those 4-minute pop songs are as much a part of me as shredding on, another song or something like that. I wanted to, show a bunch of sides. So I was able to just basically go in the studio and mess around with some incredible players and capture something that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get. It was either going to work or it was going to be a failure, and I have to go back and start over again. So I wrote the right kind of songs that had the freedom for everybody to add their thing, and I just put the vibe out there. Go, listen to these 3 songs and then put your head in that era, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want a bunch of synths. I don't want everything all locked up. I don't want everything. I want to do the opposite of a Toto record.
What about the documentary? Is it still happening?
No, that's still going to happen. Unfortunately, my director's stuck in the UK. That's why it went to a halt. We had some great, incredible stuff, and we're just getting started. So, I mean, that'll come out when it comes out. There's no timeline on that. It's just we have to wait till we can travel and work and interview people without having to wear a hazmat suit,
Yeah.
Well, someone had put on there, and I responded to it, and quite a few people didn't agree with me. They said, what is it, Fahrenheit or the 7th one? And I went, no, hear me out. I went, well, Fahrenheit to me was new singer, just getting things together, playing with some ideas. And by the 7th one, I said it melded together. Somehow they had, but what's your interpretation between those 2 albums?
Well, first off, Fahrenheit, having Joe back in the band. I mean, Joe's a childhood friend of mine.
Yeah.
And actually, he came around the block. He didn't actually come through me. He came through Jeff. Jeff goes, what about Joseph Williams? I'm like, Joseph, let's hear what he got. And he had a demo tape, and Joe had these great songs, We Can Make It Tonight, and they were already pretty much there. And so it was like, he's got songs. He's an old friend. He sings, gets in front of a mic and sing anything Dave threw at him or anything any of us threw at him. And it was a natural fit. There was no getting to know you because we already knew each other. And Dave and Joe, Dave's father and John Williams were friends. So Dave knew him when they were little kids. All the Williams family, his sister Jenny and Mark and Joe, And, of course, the maestro. I remember hanging out there when I was 14, 15 years old with his brother Mark, because I was in a band with him in Landau, Yeah. So it's all very incestuous back to when we were early teenagers, So it was a great fit, but we got that record. We went on the road, and Joseph just killed every night. It was just like we thought, wow, man, it's all back on track again. Yeah. We had a hit record. Begrudgingly, with everybody, it was I'll Be Over You. I mean, I didn't want that to be the first single. I wanted Till the End to be the first single, like everybody else, but record company, coming off this, coming off that, and that really solidified our yacht rockness, if you will. We were really trying to run from that, but now you just got to embrace it. Okay, call me an idiot, but I'm an idiot that gets paid, so whatever. No, but that was like, we thought, wow, we're really growing, and it was fun to play live. We started to develop, our friendship got deeper, the band was, cohesive, so we went into the 7th one. Jeff brought over George Massenburg and Billy Payne from Little Feat, and said, they wanted to produce us. They came and sought us out. And I thought, I just worked with Massenburg on their Fire stuff, and I was a big fan of his work with Little Feat and, all the great records, all the great records he made. And we thought, interesting to have Billy on board, have another musician. At first we were like, do we really need all this? But then Billy brought just a little different flavor. He was less hands-on, but it was great to have there. And the 7th one, everybody brought their writing up. The writing, I thought, from everybody had stepped up. It was sad because Steve had already left the band, but yet he didn't. yes, he stayed in the band. It was a very strange departure. He quit, but signed off everything, and then came back to play with us on the tour. He just didn't want to be involved in business. You'd have to discuss this with Steve. I was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
But, that was a very strange time, and these are pretty crazy times for us.